Hi, my name's Michelle, and thanks a lot for coming by. If you've never been to my channel before, welcome in. And if you are returning, thank you so much for coming back. I am a stage 4 cancer warrior at this moment. I am fighting stage 4 colon cancer, and I just finished my 11th round of Avastin plus FOLFIRI, which is a chemotherapy regimen. After taking about a 6-week break, I started up at round 10, and then I just finished round 11, and I have one round to go, which will begin in about 9 days. But I wanted to come in and give you a few updates because there have been some changes that are a little bit different, things that I'm not used to having happen very much, and I think that it was important to share with you. So I had I have a ball that I come home with that I'm hooked up to, and that is and it has fulfluracil in it. 5-FU is the nickname, and it's a common drug used for colon cancer patients as well as other cancer patients. If you're interested in more information about that, you can always Google that information. It's important for me to let you know that I am not a medical professional. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nurse. I've never gone to school for medicine. I am a cancer patient going through treatment and living with stage 4 colon cancer. And the reason that I'm here to talk to you is actually to make people aware of various things like symptoms that you may have that may warrant a visit to the doctor, and other little things I just want to share with you so that you know you're not alone if you're going through this, and if you've had a diagnosis, it's not the end of the world. I have actually been living with stage 4 colon cancer for well over 5 years. So you can live a very full life. It will be different, okay? But you can live a full life while undergoing treatment, and you may have to put some things on hold, and you may have to curtail some of your hobbies that you like to do that perhaps don't go well with when you're working with chemotherapy, but overall you can still live a fulfilling life. So my idea is to give you hope and let you know that it's not the end of the world, okay? I didn't bring this up in my last video because I really kind of thought it might be a one-off. The morning that I was going in to get my last round of infusion, which lasts about 5.5 hours at the infusion office, and then they send me home with my ball of 5-FU. I wear that for about a day and a half, and then I go have it disconnected. So when I had the last treatment, we went out in the morning. The treatment didn't start until about 9:15 in the morning. So my husband and I went out and we did some yard work. It was a nice morning. He was already going out to do it, and I just felt like going outside and being there with him and kind of enjoying the breeze and the beautiful fresh air in the morning, play with the dogs in the yard and that type of thing. Well, he was pulling a weed out that was, it wanted to bury itself underneath a pad of our air conditioner. So I said, hey, I think I'm at the right angle. Why don't you hand me the little shovel? So he hands me the shovel and I go to dig it out, and I lost my balance. Well, I was able to use the handle of the shovel to keep myself up. And, I kind of laughed about it, and I said, oh my goodness, I better be careful. And he's like, yeah, you better be careful. Let me do it. And I said, no, I think I'm at a good angle, so let me do it. Well, the second time I went to do it, I went down. And it wasn't really a big deal. I don't even know if you can see it, but I got a little, oh yeah, you can. I got a little bruise right here. I landed on a 2x4. Luckily, I was on dirt. I was protected from any of the dirt touching my skin or anything like that. Didn't hit any cement. I was near a cement pad, but I fell away from that. And again, I think it was my dignity that was bruised more than anything. So I didn't mention it, and it's just not something that happens, you know, losing my balance and stuff like that. It just isn't a common occurrence. So I move on, don't think much about it. And then a couple of days later, when actually it was the next day, in the afternoon, I was in the kitchen emptying the dishwasher because I was on my steroid high. I get a lot of energy from the steroids I have to take that help protect me from nausea and other side effects that I get when I'm undergoing chemotherapy. And I only take the steroids while I'm connected to the chemotherapy ball. But it does give me energy. A lot of times it'll give me cravings for things like sweets and chocolates and things like that. Although that hasn't been happening lately. I've actually been really super nauseous. But manageably nauseous with medication. So that's always a good thing. But what did happen was when I had the dishwasher, the door of it was down, you know, like you have to do to get in and out of the dishwasher. So I was in there in the kitchen, and I had just taken something to the dining room to put away in the cabinet. And I was coming back, and I needed to go over by the sink. And when I did that, I undercut where I was walking, and I was walking a little bit quicker than usual. And it's one of those things where, you know, when you just tell yourself, slow down, and pay attention to what's going on around you. I could have used a huge dose of mindfulness at that point. So I was moving fast. I was moving without looking right at the ground or looking at my feet. I was wearing shorts, so my leg was exposed. And boy, did I whap my shin on the corner, right at the corner of the door of the dishwasher. And it laid that bad boy open like you would not believe. So I yelled for my husband as I ran with my legs spurting blood to the bathroom I wanted to get a clean towel. And we always keep clean towels that don't have softener and they don't have anything like that on them, just in case. We keep those around in the linen closet, which is next to the bathroom. So I grabbed one of those, put pressure on my leg right away. My husband comes in and he goes, okay, I'm going to have to see this. And I was afraid to open it. I didn't want to look at it, but I did. And when I saw his face, now I have to tell you, JJ is a really calm, collected person. He's the guy that you want with you in an emergency. I have seen him in a semi watch a car flip in front of us 4 times, eject the passenger. She ended up getting road rash on the side of the highway. I-5 just north of Ashland, Oregon. I will never, ever forget that day. He gets out calm as can be, calms her down. This isn't the only time he's ever done this kind of thing, but he calms her down. You know, somebody was able, we didn't have a cell phone at the time. I want to say that we called our dispatcher on the radio though, and the dispatcher typed it into the Qualcomm that we had, and they were able to call 911 and get him down to where we were. So that's the kind of calm person he is in the face of emergencies where there's blood and all kinds of stuff. Well, his face turned, like I could see it go from his normal tannish color to pure white. And I'm like, oh boy, oh boy. So he helped me get it under control. I called the infusion desk and asked him if there was anything I needed to tell the emergency room or the doctor or wherever we ended up going, because I was on chemo, if there was any information I needed to share with them. And they said, no, tell them what you're taking and they'll see you. Don't forget to tell them that you're a type 2 diabetic. and let us know how it goes. Now, all this is happening around 2:45 in the afternoon on Wednesday. So he put a bandage on my leg. Thankfully, we had something, we had a gauze bandage, and he was able to put that on there and kind of, I ended up putting a rag over the top just to hold the pressure on so that it didn't keep bleeding. And we ended up going to an urgent care. And it turned out that there wasn't a thick enough layer, or there weren't layers of skin. I had just basically hit it on the corner just right, and it ripped my leg open and it popped it open. It reminded me of cartoons. This is for the older crowd. Cartoons where like there'd be a fat cat in a restaurant, and they'd have one of those, I don't even know what it's called, but it's like a vest. And they're sitting there eating, and then their belly gets big because they fill themselves up, and it goes, and it just rolls up like that. That's what my leg looked like, but sideways. So they told us we did a good job of stopping the bleeding. They told us we did a good job of getting it, making sure it was clean. But unfortunately, there wasn't enough for them to be able to stitch it closed or use the glue that they use now. So they showed me how to clean it. They showed us all of the materials that we needed to order. In fact, the physician's assistant on duty got on to Amazon with my husband on his phone and showed him the best products to purchase, to use for it. And that's what he did. So he ordered everything. The physician's assistant dressed me up, and then she put a dressing and cleaned the wound. And then, wished us the best on our way. And they told us, if we have to come back, to come back. So that's what happened. So now I'm going to be doing this care on this open wound for a while. So I have to take, every day I need to irrigate it. I don't even know if that's the right term, but I'm putting like an antibacterial soap over the top of my leg and then letting the water rinse down over the cut itself and all that. And last night was the first time I did it where it didn't hurt and sting like a mother bear when I did it. But I went to bed, and then it starts swelling when you're laying in bed and everything. So I've just been taking a little bit of ibuprofen here and there. It doesn't make it bleed because obviously the bleeding has stopped. There's a little weeping here and there. But I did want to tell you guys that it appears that in this round of chemo, or just where I am in the process, if you will, I seem to be losing a little bit of balance. And definitely I do get a little bit of chemo brain, so that makes sense with me not paying as much attention when I hit the dishwasher door. But I did want to tell you that all that was going on, and since we're mid-treatment, I'm off of the treatment, but I'm still going through side effects, okay? So I have been really, really nauseous this time. The other end is fine for the most part. Imodium is our friend, but I haven't had a lot of other things except for nausea, and it's just constant nausea. So I haven't eaten a lot. I looked at the scale today. I've lost like 5 pounds in a week. But next week, I know that over the next week, it's going to change because I'll start gaining my appetite a little bit, I think. So, I've been eating a can of soup a day. Friday night, I was feeling really rambunctious and had a grilled cheese sandwich. JJ made us grilled cheese sandwiches and tomato soup, and it was really good. But every morning, I'm making sure that I try and eat something like an English muffin, even if it's plain, toasted, or a little tiny thing of applesauce, or maybe some Jell-O. I'm not a Jell-O person, but lately Jell-O has been making my stomach feel pretty darn good. So I have one of those every couple of days, and that's been helpful too. And that's really all I have for you today, but I did want to give you that update because I felt like this one was a little more important than just, hey, how's it going, because I am noticing things, and it slowed me down a little bit, and I am purposefully slowing down. just to make sure that I don't do anything else that causes any injuries. I've healed from a recent cut on this arm and a recent cut on this arm, and I was super excited because I didn't have any scabs until Wednesday. I'm not laughing at me, I'm laughing with me. So if you know anybody who happens to be going through any changes in their bowel habits, be it extreme constipation, unpredictable bowels, bowels thinning from a normal size and normal color to a very small size, maybe thin and black. Black means that there's blood coming from somewhere inside of you, according to what my doctor told me and according to what I observed. You might want to consider talking to your doctor about it first, and then talk to them about possibly going and seeing a gastroenterologist and see if you need to do a stool sample to rule out that you might have any cancer or precancerous polyps. Another thing I want to encourage you to do is to share this with people that you know who may have talked about it to you. Talking about poop or stool or elimination is not a comfortable thing, but we all do it. And part of what comes out of your body when you're not feeling well is usually a sign that something's not right. And that's your sign. That's the time that you need to talk to your doctor about it. Maybe even if you've only had this going on for a week or two, tell your doctor about it so that it's on record. Make note of it. Maybe put a note in your calendar or on your phone. And then if it doesn't happen again, it doesn't happen again. But if it does, or if you happen to have a family history of colon cancer or colorectal cancer of any kind, that's when you really, really need to be talking to your doctor. And I'm sure that your doctor has heard a lot more in their career than somebody worried about their poo. So please, please, please don't be afraid to talk about it. It could very well save your life. And that is why I love to put these videos out. I want to save as many people from going through stage 4 colon cancer as I possibly can. Now here's a little tidbit. If you stayed all the way to the end here, thank you. I do want to tell you that I will be putting out a video tomorrow afternoon. It may be closer to 4 o'clock Pacific time, maybe even a little tiny bit later, because I'm not going to put the video out until I have some super exciting news to share with you. And that is where I'm going to leave us today. Thanks a lot for coming by, everybody. We appreciate you visiting our channel, and we'll see you later, everybody. Be kind.